If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him.
Maybe someone's reacted to that news. I don't know, or maybe it just fell through. No. But it sounds to me that the move to fight Jake Paul has just maybe derailed the other fight. But I don't blame Canelo Alvarez, because financially, the bigger fight is Canelo-Jake Paul. Yeah. Because in that fight, you've got two big stars. Yeah. In the other fight, you've got two great fighters and one big star.
Terence Crawford has revealed that CaneloAlvarez has included a rehydration clause for their upcoming fight. Meanwhile, Bernie, a member of Team Crawford, mentioned in an interview that Crawford and Canelo's fight is scheduled for September 13th. Although it hasn't been officially announced yet, Bernie let the cat out of the bag. Crawford is expected to move up to 168 pounds to challenge Canelo for his trio of super middleweight titles. But now he's moving up 3. I think he'll be physically disadvantaged in the fight, but he's a great pound-for-pound fighter. It's two historical greats fighting each other. Another big topic leading up to this fight will be the rehydration clause. It was revealed that Alvarez would have passed on this opportunity if such a clause were in place. Hearn simply responded, "Canelo would never do it." When asked why Crawford hasn't negotiated a rehydration provision, Terence Crawford has consistently accepted the idea that boxing should be a relentless and evolving challenge. Whether it's adapting to a new physique or conquering multiple weight classes, he explains that this is why he's taken the chance to rise through the divisions. His upcoming face-off against fellow 4-division champion, Canelo Alvarez, is set to be confirmed for September. After attending his gym buddy Steven Nelson's weigh-in for his Saturday...
And Terence Crawford, who should be a big star, but the reality is isn't. He's just an unbelievable fighter. So, listen, everything can change overnight, as you saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, don't rule out Canelo Crawford, but as I'm hearing, Canelo-Jake Paul is done. And I get it. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Mad old game. Eddie, always a pleasure, mate. Really appreciate the time.
Listen, buck up your ideas.
Boxing fans were already aware that Crawford and Canelo were set to face off in September, with leaks surfacing weeks ago. However, this marks the first official confirmation from someone within their camps. In response to criticism that Terence Crawford should first establish himself at 168 pounds before taking on Canelo, he dismissed the idea outright, simply saying why. He then laid out Crawford's impressive resume: a 2-division undisputed champion, a 3-division unified titleist, and a 4-division world champion. However, he notably omitted any mention of the caliber of opponents Crawford defeated to claim those belts, fighters largely considered beatable. September 13th, look forward to it. Crawford vs Canelo, Bernie the boxer said, fueling the hype around the megafight. "Yeah, it's happening. Crawford vs Canelo, not the other way around," he added. Speaking on social media, Bernie emphasized that Team Crawford stands by their belief that Crawford is pound-for-pound the best in the world and is soon to be the super middleweight king. The majority of fans are encouraging the fight, rather than criticizing it. Despite concerns over Crawford's strength, power, and experience at 168, many believe Crawford can win, and some even think he's unbeatable, similar to the fervent supporters of David Benavidez. Fans have watched Benavidez dominate for so long that the idea of him losing to Canelo seems almost unthinkable. But a closer look at his 17-year career tells a different story. His success isn't just about skill, it's also about the level of competition he's faced, and frankly, he hasn't been tested by top-tier opposition. When Crawford moved up to 154 pounds to face Jermell Charlo's former opponent, Israel Madrimov, last August, he delivered a lackluster performance, far from his usual sharpness. Although he won a unanimous decision, the fight was closer than expected, with the judges scoring it 115 to 113, 116 to 112, and 115-113. Despite the ongoing speculation about Crawford's potential clash with Canelo, his trainer, Brian McIntyre, has made it clear that he isn't concerned with rehydration clauses or how much weight Crawford's opponent might gain after the weigh-in. In a conversation with Ricky, a writer for Ring magazine, McIntyre stated that if Crawford's opponent overdid it and became sluggish or hindered by their size, it would be their problem, not his or Crawford's. He emphasized that it wouldn't be a concern for him, saying, "It's entirely on the opponent if their size becomes a disadvantage." As for the rehydration clause, it's designed to ensure that an opponent doesn't gain too much weight between the weigh-in and the fight, which could create a significant weight disparity. With the difference in weight between Crawford and Canelo expected to be stark, the rehydration clause has become a point of contention, but McIntyre remains unfazed. A night fight against Alvarez's WBO #1 ranked opponent, Diego Pacheco, Crawford told Boxing Scene in an exclusive chat on Friday at the Cosmopolitan, "That's what great fighters are all about, testing yourself against all the odds." With an impressive 40-0 record, Crawford made a victorious leap from his time as the undisputed welterweight champion, taking on the biggest challenges in the sport.
You, David, that you will fight the winner of Better Be a Bivol?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. To be honest, the only thing that I'm thinking about is that if Bivol wins this fight, like what they would have to do a rubber match, you know what I mean? And like I'm just like thinking, who am I to say that, you know, they can't fight another fight because, you know, they fought two great fights. So that's basically the only thing I'm thinking of right now. But I would, if that's something like that would happen, I think I wouldn't fight until they get that done with, and then, you know, I would move into that fight after they have a trilogy. So that's really the only thing I'm thinking right now.
But that would be a long break for you. Like, let's say conceivably they fight again October, you know, who knows?
The reporter continued by asking whether McIntyre still believed Crawford could secure a victory without any rehydration limits. Without hesitation, McIntyre reaffirmed his unwavering faith in Crawford, insisting that weight restrictions wouldn't affect the outcome. He acknowledged that some might have doubts, pointing out that in the past, fighters facing larger opponents often prioritized having a rehydration clause. However, McIntyre dismissed this concern as nonsense. He argued that the concept of a rehydration clause was utterly absurd, criticizing the idea of limiting how much weight a fighter could gain after the weigh-in. For McIntyre, once the weigh-in is complete, it should be up to the fighter to control their weight however they choose. He stressed that fighters should simply step into the ring and fight like true competitors, especially since both sides have agreed to the bout.
We'll see. I'm gonna rest and talk with my team. And like I say, everybody asking for everything. But and I always did. I always fight with everybody. You asking, so. But right now I'm in the position I can ask him to. So I'm in the position I can ask him to, and I can do whatever I want, and we'll see what happens next.
The confusion likely began after the Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis fight, where the term rehydration clause entered the spotlight. It's important to clarify the issue and ensure better communication going forward to avoid any further misunderstandings. To provide some background, Mike Coppinger recently emphasized that official contracts have not yet been signed. However, there's a strong chance that Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford might face off over the Mexican Independence Day weekend in September, assuming all details are finalized. As Crawford has said all along, the fight will take place at 168 pounds with no rehydration clause, according to ESPN's Boxing Insider. For boxing fans, this showdown pits two of today's top fighters against each other in a high-stakes clash to determine who truly deserves the title of the sport's best pound-for-pound contender. Crawford, likely to move up from light middleweight to super middleweight, is preparing for a highly anticipated fight with the Mexican champion. The event is shaping up to be one of the biggest spectacles of 2025. In an interview with IFL TV, Eddie Hearn admitted that Crawford would be at a significant disadvantage in what would be a showdown between two generations of greats. "It's a huge spectacle," Hearn said. "Crawford is moving up really 3 weight classes. He's just come up 1 weight class before."
Not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford. Against Madvidov, people are going to say, oh, he had some hiccups. Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Matrimov was a little difficult to eat, he's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the. What was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter. Then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter.
Saudi power player Turki Alik has poured significant resources into honoring his admiration for Terence Crawford, elevating him to top billing for Alik's inaugural US event in August. Despite some tension with Canelo Alvarez, Alik has worked tirelessly to push this highly anticipated showdown toward reality. Crawford expressed his gratitude, saying, "I'm definitely thankful for what Turki has done in the sport of boxing. He's making all the biggest fights happen, all of these big money fights. He's a big player himself, and he's putting in so much to make the fights everyone wants to see. I'm very happy with how things are moving and excited about where everything is going." In 2023, Canelo Alvarez made headlines with his remark, "If you look at his record, he's just beaten one good boxer." Terence Crawford was taken aback by the unified super middleweight's declaration that he would not be participating in the fight. A year and a half has passed, and now, as talks between their teams heat up, fans are on the edge of their seats, waiting for the fight to come to fruition. Old remarks are being reignited, including a clip from a 2023 interview that recently emerged. Crawford's sister, Letitia Crawford, didn't take kindly to Canelo's insinuations, remarking on X, formerly Twitter, "They all sing the same song." However, the Guadalajara native later clarified his previous stance and acknowledged the potential for conflict. In an interview with Ring Magazine's Mike Coppinger, Canelo was asked about his views on a potential fight with Crawford. The interviewer noted that, regardless of the outcome, should Crawford defeat Canelo, many critics would likely attribute the victory to the weight difference between the two fighters. Canelo, however, seemed unfazed by the attacks. In his view, the drama surrounding the fight has only fueled fan excitement, making them even more eager to see it. "The fans want to see it," Canelo said, hinting that the fight might happen. "Maybe fans will get to see it." The 34-year-old went on to praise Crawford, describing him as a skilled fighter with exceptional abilities. While he admitted the fight could take place, he remained unsure, stating,